Be sure to check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com for plenty more Royal Caribbean news, information, fun advice. It is all waiting for you at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Happy Monday, everybody. Every Monday, I am live with you right here on Facebook, hanging out, talking Royal Caribbean together. Thank you for joining us here. And, of course, every Monday we are live, and we're here to answer your cruise questions. We're going to get a lot of great questions today, but there's only one question that is the most important, and that is how many days until your next Royal Caribbean cruise? Type your countdown in chat right now. Let's count down together. My countdown is coming in at exactly 7 days from now. 1 week from now, I'll be talking Royal Caribbean with you guys live from Mariner of the Seas, their first revenue sailing. Can't wait for that. We got our first super chat of the evening from my very good friend, Mr. Tropical Tom Garcia. Tom, it is good to see you. Thank you, buddy, for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, did I get an echo here? There we go. If there's an echo, it'll fix it. I think it's fixed now. Hopefully it's fixed now. Let me make sure. Let me just double check. Test 1, 2. Yeah, I think we're good now. Got some a lot of great countdowns coming in there. Cool. Echo's good. We got some super chats coming in. Archie with our next super chat. Thank you, Archie, for your super chat. Finally figured out my bike wouldn't move anywhere. It was too tired. Thank you, Archie. Josh Carruthers, with an epic super chat. Thank you, Josh. 20 days to my YOLO Odyssey of the Cruise. Hashtag shots. And Josh, I got to say, from what I understand, are you aware, sir, that you, as of, I'm going to say like 3 hours ago, you have a new roommate? Did you hear about that? Thank you, Josh, for the super chat, and very excited to have you on board Odyssey of the Seas with me. Terry Gallant, congratulations. You're in the top 5 of the cruise tubers at 104 Sabs. Only 5 tubers in the 100 club. You need to show up the silver play button soon. Yeah, I'd have to get one soon from YouTube. Thank you, Terry. I do appreciate it. You know, I really believe this. I don't pay that much attention to the numbers. I remember when I was getting close to 100,000, many of you sent me messages and were like, hey, Matt, you're getting close. And I'm like, oh, really? I don't care about numbers. It doesn't matter to me. To me, I would rather have a Terry Gallant. I'd rather have a Josh Carruthers. I would even rather have, believe it or not, an Archie the Archie than just like 1,000 or 10,000 other people who don't say anything, don't contribute, aren't part of the community. You guys here are the reason why I talk with you guys every week. You make it fun. I love doing it. So I'm really glad you guys are joining us here. So yeah. But thank you. I do appreciate it, Terry. Obviously, it does mean a lot. Let's see. All right, let's answer some cruise questions for you guys. Carlos has got our first question of the day. Any idea what percentage capacity Symphony will be in October? Great question, Carlos. And we don't know. Royal Caribbean has not divulged any kind of information as to what specific capacity, limited capacity, any ship will be at any given time. We do know that it'll be a limited capacity, but we don't know how limited or not it is. Be perfectly honest with you, Carlos, Royal Caribbean just hasn't given us any numbers. It's one of those things where we don't know until literally the ship sets sail to know the exact number. So as of right now, it's an unknown factor, and I don't think Royal isn't. Maybe they'll change their mind later on, but as of right now, they don't put that information publicly. So it's really just a matter of somebody getting on board the ship and saying, hey, we've got this amount of people on there. And right now, that number is still pretty low. You know, here in these August cruises and even in July, I think the max we've seen is about, and again, right around 1,000 people, like 1,100 people or so. And 1,000 people on, you know, a Voyager class ship is very different than 1,000 people on an Oasis class ship, right? But the bottom line is, Carlos, we don't know. It's a good question. So Harry's going on the Oasis of the Seas test cruise this Sunday. Congratulations, my friend. I hope you enjoy your test cruise experience. That is fantastic. Tony Diaz is here. What's up, Tony? Beachy Mama. Does Royal Caribbean have spa staterooms? No. So this is really interesting. Glad you brought this up. So before the pandemic, they announced they were going to add them. Then they took it back, Beachy Mama, because of the shutdown. So they never actually added them. So you didn't mishear. They did announce them, but they put it back on the shelf until further notice. 12th man proud going on a cruise in 4 more days. Dude, welcome to the slowest week of your life, my friend. So we got some super chats coming in. Got to catch up with that. Daniel Kabaya, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Going my first roller ring cruise since 2019 out of Miami in 18 days. We'll be getting a rapid COVID test before and after the cruise. Number one, Daniel, you must get a COVID test on your own. Meaning, you may already know this, but up to 3 days before you're sailing, you must go to a pharmacy, a doctor, wherever, and get your own test. If you're vaccinated, Daniel, if you're fully vaccinated, that's the last test you have to do. If you're unvaccinated, then Royal Caribbean will charge you for 2 more tests, one at the terminal and then one before you exit the cruise. But if you're fully vaccinated, you just have to do 1 test, and that is the day before. Actually, tomorrow on our YouTube channel, we're going to have a video explaining the pre-cruise COVID test and how to get one. Make it easier on you guys. Daniel wants to know, do I use Royal Caribbean travel insurance or private? I use private travel insurance. First Sergeant Richard, buddy. Woo! Thank you for the super chat, man. 82 days till Mariner of the Seas. Thank you so much for your generosity. Last cruise was February 2020, and now it seems like decades ago. Keep up the great work, brother. My friend, thank you so much for your generosity. And 82 days, man, it's going to be a surreal homecoming. It's going to feel amazing to be back on board. You're still at 82 days, but as you get closer, all of a sudden time starts to slow down, and you can ask 12th man proud. You can ask anybody who's got a cruise coming up. Those last couple days leading up to it are so slow, but it's so worth it, First Sergeant Richard. You're going to have an awesome time on there, and I'll be on Mariner of the Seas, as I mentioned, again, beginning next week. So if I can obviously answer any questions for you, Richard, I'll be happy to do so. Gary Miola Jr. coming with a super chat. Thank you, Gary. My weekly contribution to the Hotchberg Family Cruising Fund. Thank you. It really, believe it or not, that your contribution goes less to the Hotchberg Family Cruising Fund as it does the Pay the Web Server Fund or Pay Our Wonderful Video Editor Jenna Fund, which is always great. So, but I do appreciate it. It all goes towards a good cause, no doubt about it. We have another super chat coming in. It is from Foodie Vacations. Going to Playmakers in 7 days. What should I order? I've never been to one. Hubby is stoked. All those TVs. Oh, man. Number one, you got to go with the nachos. I think that is the de facto best appetizer to get at Playmakers. It's so good. It's really chunky. It's not just cheese on there. There's a ton of stuff. So good. I think the chicken sandwich is probably one of my favorite things on their Foodie Vacations. I absolutely love it. I also think the Playmakers burger is really good. So if you want beef, I say go with the burger. If you're looking for not beef, the chicken sandwich is really good. I think it's fantastic. But Foodie Vacations, I would be remiss if I did not mention the reason to go to Playmakers, and that is the campfire cookie. It is amazing. It's basically Royal Caribbean's take on a s'more. It's ooey. It's gooey. It's got ice cream with it. It will change your life. Save room for dessert. No question about it. I can't believe how many super chats we've got. Holy moly. I'm trying to catch up with the chat here. Don Moores, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Don, always appreciated. Thank you for your support. And another super chat coming in. Brenna Rizzardi. Guys, thank you so much for your generosity. Both of you guys. Thank you. Really do appreciate it. Jamie, so what are you finding is the big mistake folks are making now that cruising is starting up again? Great question. Number one, flying in the same day of their cruise, Jamie. People look at Air to Sea and say, wow, this is an opportunity for me to fly in the same day because Royal Caribbean's got my back, right? It's a mistake. Don't fly in your cruise the same day of your cruise. Trust me. Don't do that. The other big mistake, Jamie, that I'm seeing is folks who are arriving to the cruise terminal outside of their check-in window. Whether they think it's the old days or just unaware of the new policy, let me tell you guys, Royal Caribbean is absolutely 100% enforcing the check-in times. If you show up early, 30 minutes, an hour before your check-in time, you will be standing around outside. They will not let you in early. Don't be those people. Find something else more constructive to do, preferably with air conditioning. Don't show up. Wait for your time. Go then. I'm telling you right now. So, Trip, we got a message from Trippin' Texans. Kelly. Hello, Kelly. Hey, Matt, we're on adventure this season, 12 days. Thank you for telling me to wait and not cancel. It's the best advice I can give anybody. I don't even know why I told you not to do that, but you know what, Kelly, we say here in the Hotchberg household, Hotchbergs don't cancel cruises, but the truth is for you as well. I'm so glad that you feel good about that decision not to cancel. You're going to love it. Matthew Smith with an epic super chat. Woo! Thank you, Matt. Thanks for your response the other day. Much appreciated. You're amazing. Booked Anthem today. Couldn't stand waiting for the U.S. border opening. Do you know how strict Royal Caribbean is with weight limits on activities like North Star? It depends on the crew member. They generally are more restricted than not, and I think they will probably enforce that. There's no harm in trying it, Matt. I mean, why not? But a little bit here and there, maybe not. But I would expect it. Let's put it that way. They have the scale there for a reason, and they take it pretty seriously in most cases. So, and I think we have one more super chat to catch up on before. I thought I'm. Jeff Leonard is here. What's up, Jeff? I'm having withdrawals Oasis in 20 days, and he's been 600 days at your last cruise. Dude, you're gonna love it on there. Absolutely fantastic. And Show Phil got my back on this one. Get the campfire cookie at Playmakers. It will change your life. Jeff Wood from Mount Dora. Dude, I love Mount Dora. It's like our favorite date place to go. I love the downtown area. So nice. JJ Wagner with the super chat. Why are there no vloggers on Symphony of the Seas right now? You'd have to ask the vloggers. I have no idea. Typically, JJ, and again, I don't know how or why people do anything. I'm not going to speak for other people. Generally speaking, this is generalization, and I'm guilty of this as much as anybody. Hi, my name is Matt. In a lot of cases, when you see a lot of vloggers on one particular sailing, it's usually because they get a media invite. And Royal Caribbean has not been doing media invites for first sailings back of all these other ships. They did it for, maybe they did it for Adventure. I paid for my way on Adventure of the Seas. I paid for my way on Freedom of the Seas. But, sometimes you get people who hop on a particular sailing for that reason. Other times, it's just sounds like a good idea to do that. But I can't speak as to why many of my friends out there in the YouTube community are not on board Symphony. But to each, there's a lot of ships, not just one. I tell people, hey, man, it's all about Royal Caribbean, but other people don't necessarily agree with me right there on that one. So, yeah. Alex wants to know, is Playmakers an upcharge? It is, yes. There's an extra charge. You pay as you go, Alex. If you go there and just get the campfire cookie, no problem at all. That's all you pay for. So it's pay as you go. It's an a la carte menu. Let's see. Beachy Mama, do you know if or how bad Labadee was affected during the earthquake? I have not heard anything, Beachy Mama. It's a great question. I'm not aware of any damage, but I don't have an update one way or another. I don't have hey, nothing was bad or nothing to report, good or bad. So, yeah. E. Dixon says, how long will Hookie only have one cruise ship in a port at a time? The one ship at a time thing, is a great question. Part of it has to do with the CDC and regulations. I know for test cruises, they can't have more than one ship going there at a time. But I suspect that will probably start to fade. I think that realistically, it makes more sense to kind of adjust things, quite frankly. So, Chad wants to know, how is self-assist luggage disembarkation handled now? Does everyone gather in a designated spot waiting clearance? Great question, Chad. So it's basically the same, but there's one major difference, Chad, and that is you don't wait in a common area anymore. On disembarkation day, when it's ready to go, you go back to your room and you wait in your room for your number to be called. Now, obviously, for self-assist, there is no number, right? They just say anybody wants to come down for self-assist can come down. With limited capacity, Chad, that's not an issue. There's not that many people who are really competing, and they can manage it pretty darn well. But that's essentially how it works as of right now, anyway. So, Teresa McShane, holy moly, with a amazing slap your grandma super chat. Wow, I think that deserves a 35 days to freedom, 2 days to perfect day, 1 day in a Oasis Lagoon cabana, and the finale over the water cabana. The waiting, yep, the waiting is definitely the hardest part. I will spare you singing my best whatever his name is. I can picture his face right now, but yeah, great song. And Teresa, 35 days. You are right in. I talked about it earlier, Teresa. You are in that time right there where all of a sudden time slows down. It's wasn't it 35 days 3 weeks ago? Crazy, right? Yeah. Broderick says, I need to cruise, but I can't get motivated. My previous 5 cruises all been canceled. There was a lot of effort for nothing. Yeah, and listen, man, I think everybody in here, if not everybody, most people in here went through exactly what you've done, Broderick. We had cruises booked. They got canceled. It's no bueno. But the good news is those mass cancellations are a thing of the past, my friend, and cruises are going again. So if you really want to avoid that kind of disappointment, book a cruise on a ship that has already restarted. And I think you'll probably set yourself up for the most likely high chance of success. So Kirk says, how do you stay slim after all your back-to-back cruising? Believe it or not, I don't eat everything that I see. I know people think I do, but I don't. I just have a little bit of you know, I nibble, I taste, but I try to control myself. It's a hard lesson. It's a hard lesson to learn, certainly, but I try my best on that one. Karen Davis from Tennessee, hello and welcome. Mike Wolf, welcome to the party. Thank you for joining us here. Ron Ladowski in the house with the super chat. Thank you, Ron. Appreciate you, buddy. And in addition to the check-in comment, if you're traveling Star Class or Pinnacle Crown Anchor, you can check in 1 hour before your scheduled check-in time. Yeah, I would suspect, Ron, that applies to very little or very few people in here. But you are right. There is a little bit of an asterisk to what I said earlier. You're not wrong. But again, that is the exception. For most people, that's not the reality. So just, pay attention to that check-in time, because I can't tell you how many cruises I've been on recently where I get there and there's a large contingent of folks who are just standing around outside because their number's not ready yet, and they told them you can't come in yet. So, Michelle Pros, welcome. Joe S., the CDC has no control over cocaine, not part of the U.S. You're right that they have no jurisdiction over there in that sense, but the cruise lines operate from the U.S. The fact that they leave the United States and operate elsewhere, they still got to come back. They still have to be approved. Listen, it's not about, we're not talking about the technical aspect of, where the United States border ends and where the Bahamas begins. This is about companies who work with the CDC. And you're right from a technical standpoint, but from a practical standpoint, from a real world standpoint, the cruise lines all got to play ball. This is no different than the airlines who operate internationally as well, and so many other companies. So forget travel for a second. When you work with the federal government, trust me, they know what you're up to. They know what you're doing. This is not a secret. So in the grand scheme of things, it's best to play nicely. And the cruise lines want to do that. And on top of that, the cruise lines aren't looking to just buck any and all regulations the second they get out of international waters and they start cockfighting and monkey knife fighting, right? They're not doing those kinds of things, right? They want to be realistic. They want to be safe. And they also want to make sure that they are doing things the quote unquote right way. It may not be what we want to see necessarily, especially right now, but it's long term. It's a better strategy than to try to buck the CDC. And I feel like we've seen this time and time again from other cruise lines. Case in point, when Florida won its lawsuit against the CDC and the conditional sail order does not apply now to the to Florida, the cruise lines were like, you know what, we're going to follow it anyway, because this is how business is done. Sometimes you gotta work with them and work on there. So, hey, Desiree, thank you for the super chat. Hot dog with ketchup. Thank you. Harry wants to know, do I recommend insurance coverage on a test cruise? I think in general, it's always a good idea to have travel insurance. I think is a great idea. Not everyone needs it, obviously, based on your risk tolerance. But in general, I like travel insurance because it provides you some good buffer. It's just like all insurance. It's a waste of money until you actually need it. And when you need it, it's the best money you ever spent. Wendy is here. What's the difference between a 4D and a 2D balcony cabin? Generally speaking, the location. When you get to the category and you look at a balcony, there'll be 1D, 2D, 4D, 8D, 6D. What does it all mean? Generally, room size and or location. So sometimes one room may be slightly larger than another, but most cases, Wendy, it has to do with the location, how centrally located or not it is. Essentially, the lower the number, like 2 as opposed to 4, the more preferable the room location is to some extent. Again, that's subjective in a lot of cases, but Vanessa wants to know, I'm nervous about the key I'm counting on for an internet package. Should I cancel it or hope for the best? Oh, boy. I don't know when your cruise is, Vanessa, obviously. But I would say if you got it booked right now, hold on to it. I mean, you can always cancel. Booking the internet is really easy before your cruise. And they will cancel the key before you get on board the ship. So you'll have time to rebook the internet package. And the prices don't fluctuate all that much. Hey, Don Moores, thank you for the question. Does the ultimate dining package include chef's table? It does not. It does not, my friend. Tom Petty. Thank you, Teresa. Yeah, it's Tom Petty. I'm sorry. I just had this brain fart. No excuse on that one. I should know Tom Petty. Tobias Wolf, thank you for the super chat. Happy 13th anniversary to Mike Wolf. Guys, wish a happy anniversary to the Wolves out there with an E, not the ones that live in your hills. Anyway, happy anniversary, guys, and thank you for joining us here on YouTube during your anniversary. Sharon Stockman with an epic super chat. Woo! Holy moly, Snipe Your Grandma, it is that good, Sharon. 488 days till Harmony. Can't wait. 118 till Oasis. Fantastic. We love that, Sharon. That's awesome, awesome stuff. Thank you for your generosity. As always, I've got some amazing friends in here who are way too generous. I don't deserve any of this stuff, but thank you. I do appreciate it, Sharon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Carlos wants to know, do you know if the gyms on board will be open for use? Yes, they are. They're absolutely open. I've been through them, Carlos. Most of the time, they're open to everybody. There are certain times where it's vaccinated only, but the gyms, the fitness centers are definitely open. So, Patricia, you're very welcome. Marcus wants to know, have I used the Abbott COVID-19 AG card test yet? Not yet. I actually have it. They're right here. I'm going to test it out this week, Marcus. I'm going to do a dry run, if you will, this week. I'm not sure if I'll do it tomorrow or Wednesday, but my plan is to do one, document it, write about it on RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com so you guys can check it out as well. So I know, Tropical Tom, no monkey knife fighting. I know. It's like the number one thing we all want to really see happen, but yeah, none of that happening right there. So, all right, some more super chats coming in. Holy moly, another amazing super chat. Thank you. 12th man proud. The legend himself says, Royal Caribbean report winnings of large jackpots or winnings at the table. We'll have to pay tax if I'm not lucky. I believe you do. I don't remember the number. Guys in chat, can you remember the number? There is a threshold that if you win enough money, you do have to, they give you the form anyway to report it. There is a number. I don't know what it is. It's not for like, if you win $5, they don't care, right? There is a threshold. I forget what the threshold is. Maybe somebody in our chat remembers the number, but 12th man proud. Again, you and Sharon Stockman and so many others. So Chip Gaines says it's $1,200. By the way, what's up, Chip? Good to see you again. Steve Cohen says $1,500. So I got 1,200. Eric says 12. Beachy Mama says 12. I think it's $1,200. There's a number of people, 12th man, who are saying $1,200. Thank you, Hermina, Beachy Mama, some other guesses in there. But since everyone's saying, since the majority of the guesses are $1,200, I'm going to assume that is the correct number there. So let's assume it's around there. I mean, but then you got Dawn. I think the $10,000 thing, guys. Dawn and Michael Oppenheim says $10,000. I think $10,000 if you literally have $10,000 or more of cash on you, not winning it, but just you have that much money, you have to declare that. That's not about from the casino. That's just like in general, if you have $10,000 in cash or more and you're traveling with it, you have to declare it. I believe that's what you guys are referring to. So different declaration, but yeah, it's still accurate information there. Don says, I'm sailing on the 22nd Sunday. If I get tested on the 19th, I'm good to go. The 22nd, let me just do that. Here's the answer to your question, Don. Is coming up on tomorrow on YouTube. We have a YouTube video about that. So your cruise is the 22nd. So you count back 3 days from there. The 22nd doesn't count. So it'd be 21, 20th, and 19th. So 19th is Thursday. Yes, that would be correct. You would be good to go on that one. And again, we'll have a video, Don, explaining all that and how that countdown all works tomorrow. But yes, that would be the first day you'd be able to get your COVID test and be good. Michelle wants to know thoughts on the ultra spacious Ocean View cabins. I think they're fantastic. I think it's great. I don't see why not. Let's put it that way. Vicky, how do I get travel insurance? What's the best? Just like buying car insurance or health insurance, you go to a company. There's a number of them that are out there. What's the best, Vicky? Just like car insurance, one person's good as another person's. I wouldn't get that policy. There's a lot of different policies out there. It's a matter of what it covers, what it doesn't cover, when it kicks in, all the little minutia there. A number of the common ones are Aon, Allianz, Travel Guard. Royal Caribbean sells its own brand of travel insurance, Vicky. It's underwritten by AIG, so they call it Royal Caribbean's, but you can just book theirs if you'd like. That's another option. But it's underwritten by AIG. There's a number of them that are out there. And I think there's a clearinghouse website called Insure. I think it's Insure. Yeah, InsureMyTrip.com. There's a lot of these you can like compare quotes and do these things like that. Also, your travel agent may be able to recommend one as well. So Ron Ladowski says, Matt, you have to convince my wife that we have to go on the group cruise in 2022. Do your magic. Well, you know what, Ron? Sorry, mispronounce your name. Ron, you're not wrong. And second of all, I forgot to mention, we actually announced or I announced them to the Royal Caribbean Blog insiders the other day, but we have 2 new Royal Caribbean Blog group cruises announced for next year. You guys have been beating down the door asking me about them. So we have one coming up in November 21st, 2021 on Harmony. But for 2022, we have 2 new group cruises I've announced. One is the Mariner of the Seas 8-night sailing July 17th, 2022. By the way, all of this information about our group cruises is available at royalcaribbeanblog.com/events. I'm going to post the link in the chat right there. So anyway, July 17th, 2022, sailing from Port Canaveral, 8-night Eastern Caribbean. It's going to some amazing places. We're going to Labadee, San Juan, St. Kitts, St. Croix, and Perfect Day Cookie. 8 nights, Mariner of the Seas out of Port Canaveral, Florida. Fantastic. And then the Sharon Stockman Appreciation Cruise, which is on Harmony of the Seas, December 18th, 2022. It's a holiday cruise. We're actually getting back on the 24th, so you can still fly home for Christmas if that's what you like to do. December 18th, 6-night cruise. And that is on Harmony of the Seas out of Port Canaveral again. Go to Cozumel, Roatan, and Costa Maya. More information at royalcaribbeanblog.com/events. And dear the Ladowskis, you have to join us here because there ain't no cruise like Ladowski Cruise, and we need you guys there. You guys are, I want you there with us. You're our friends. It's not the same without you guys. So, Nurse Betty, hello and welcome. Dave and Sherry with a super chat. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. 251 days of the Big Chalupa. I forgot about that. The Big Chalupa is we just determined was an inside joke we're calling Harmony of the Seas. Sherry and I have come to an agreement. I take her on a cruise and she stops calling you Matt Pitt. I like that. I mean, my first name is Brad, but yeah, I mean, we get confused with that all the time, but appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you, Dave and sharing. Dave, good luck with that bet right there. Archie the Archie wants to know, is Coastal Kitchen still running on Symphony of the Seas? Is there any chance it could close? I believe it is still running, Archie, and I have no reason to believe that it would close. So Epcot, what's up, dude? I know so many chats. Can you bring your luggage on board since the check-in times are later? When are the cabins ready? Been 2 years since last cruise. Yeah, you could bring your luggage on board. I mean, you can still give them your luggage. That's always a possibility, Epcot. The good thing is, I guess it's a good thing, a nice benefit, if you will, of the later check-in times is the rooms are open a lot closer to when you can maybe check in for your cruise. I'll let you know what it is on Mariner this is when I board, but in a lot of cases, the rooms are ready no later than 2:00. So it's not like the old days where you're getting on board the ship at like 11 or something like that, and you have a number of hours to kill. So that window is a lot narrower there, but you certainly could. So get a cup of water here. Yeah, and Stephen Z, thank you for confirming. By the way, going back to the casino question, you get a 1099-G form from the casino. Yep. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Jonathan wants to know, is Galveston mandatory vaccination for 16 and older? Yes, I believe so. Let me just double check for you, Jonathan. If you go to Royal Caribbean's website, they have a very easy way to figure this out. I'm just going to pull it up for you right here. I just want to double check because you know what? These things change all the time. And again, don't forget, Jonathan, this is for the month of August, these protocols, right? So this is for Independence Season, August 21. This could change depending on when you're sailing. But as of right now, for cruises departing Galveston, Texas in August 2021 on Independence of the Seas, Royal Caribbean guests age 12 and older. It's not 16, 12. For cruises departing Galveston in August 21 on board Independence, Royal Caribbean guests age 12 and older must present proof of COVID-19 vaccination. So it's 12. It was 16, I believe, in July, but now it is 12. So I'm glad I checked that to make sure I'm giving you the right information on there. Yeah, Mike, 100% right. When in doubt, when you're looking for travel insurance, talk to your travel agent. They can absolutely help you out on that one. Jeremy says, now that it's been confirmed that Allure this season has removed Jamaica and Haiti from its itinerary, what are some excursions recommended for Cozumel and Costa Maya? Cozumel, I love a beach day here. I did a review of it, Jeremy, last month at whatever. It was recently. I went to Paradise Beach. If you're not looking for all-inclusive, I love Paradise Beach. I just went there recently. It was fantastic. Still very good. Paradise Beach is pay as you go. So you don't pay a flat fee for everything included. It's really good if you got families, if you're worried about the weather, you want to do something else and come there for a short amount of time, or you're just not big drinkers. Paradise Beach is fantastic. Again, full review of it at royalcaribbeanblog.com. If you want an all-inclusive experience, I think Nachi Kokum is a really strong idea right now, Jeremy, and that's where I would go. So Nachi Kokum, Paradise Beach, really good options there. Costa Maya, I just booked today my favorite all-inclusive ever anywhere, and that is in Costa Maya. It's at Maya Chan. I'm going back on there in September on Odyssey of the Seas. I'll have a full review of that, Jeremy, coming up when I get back. So look for that. I'm not sure when your cruise is, but maybe that'll help you before you go on your cruise. So Mike Bloom, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Appreciate it. I saw a list of vaccinated and unvaccinated locations of Freedom of the Seas. Is there a list for Symphony going on September the 18th? Yes. I'm sure there is. Did I post about it? I might have posted about it, to be perfectly honest with you guys. They email them to everybody who's going around there. I think I did. Hold on a second. I don't know if I did. I did it for Allure, and I bet you, Mike, I bet you anything that it is exactly the same protocols for Allure and Symphony in terms of they're not going to change them to Oasis class ships, right? Obviously, the names, the venues may differ a little bit, but I would suspect that would be the case. I'm not sure if that information is available. Oh, no, it is. Yep. I actually just found it for you. Symphony of the Seas. Mike, I'm going to post it in chat. So let me tag you here, Mike. I got you, buddy. Actually, you know what, Mike? I'm gonna back it up one. Here's the link that for every. If you want any ship out there, this is the link right there. I just posted it in the chat. You go to that link, and that has Symphony, Mariner, Ovation, Odyssey, Serenade, Independence, Freedom. Because this is like posted, Mike. What about this ship? What about that ship? There's the link for everybody that shows the venues. So it's a good question. Good question right there. Tony is booked on the December 18th group cruise. Tony, looking forward to it, buddy. Looking forward to it. A long time coming. Chris wants to know, at what point does Royal Caribbean check vaccine status? Don't want to get to the point they don't accept our proof. Good question, Chris. That is when they actually check for proof. They'll ask you before the cruise if you're vaccinated, but when you actually submit the proof is when you get to the cruise terminal. Typically, when the first thing you will show them is your vaccine status. Nowadays, they ask for two things when you first check it. Before they even know your name, they're going to ask for your vaccine status and your negative COVID test. And they do that right at the terminal doors. And then later on, you're good to go. You might have to show it one more time, but that is the first opportunity to do it. You just need to have, Chris, the original card, not a photo, not a facsimile, the real deal right there. So Kayla's got a great question for us. Will the Key program play more of a factor with more structured boarding times for health screenings to get an earlier port arrival time? Unknown at this point. Right now, Royal Caribbean isn't offering the Key, Kayla. It's available for some sailings if you're looking to book a little later out, but it hasn't made its return yet, so we don't know the answer to your question. Stacey Lamp says, if you already have a travel agent that you've been working with, can you still partake in the group cruise? Yes. Stacey, when I first got into cruising, I would run across groups and they would have, these group sailings together, and they would say, if you have to book with my travel agent, if you don't book with my travel agent, you can't join us for anything on board, any of the fun. And I always thought that was an absolutely awful notion to provide, or I hated that idea. I mean, at the end of the day, if you've got a travel agent you love, you shouldn't have to pick between your awesome travel agent and joining me for the group cruise activities, right? So the answer is when I worked with MEI Travel about planning this out, I said, we got to make this work so that everyone can be invited. We're being inclusive, not exclusive. And so the idea is, yes, the majority of our events, Stacey, are open to everybody on board, no matter how you booked. Now, there are some added benefits for those that do book with our travel agent sponsor, MEI Travel. There'll be a couple of events and special add-ons that are only available to them. But when the most of the events we do on board, Stacey, we want you to be there. I want you to join us for it. So the answer is yes. Yep. Dawn, just joining. Any news on Port Liberty Bayonne? Yeah, they're starting a cruise up. The test cruise is beginning on this Sunday, the 22nd. So Bayonne's been ready for months for cruises. The issue has just been cruise lines getting permission to sail again. So let's see here. Orlando Brown, any news on COVID testing? Nothing since whenever, I don't know when last you heard, but you need to have a negative COVID test before you get on board the ship. So is rail still at limited capacity? Oh, yes. I've heard horror stories about Carnival selling at 80%. I don't know what Carnival's doing. I was shocked when I saw that they were like 2/3 full on their first sailing of the Mardi Gras. Listen, I'm not here to bash Carnival. I just simply don't understand where they're coming from and why they're being so cavalier with their protocols. They since rolled some of that back, but regardless, Royal Caribbean is definitely selling at significantly less capacity. So, yeah. Let's see. Mark, thank you, Mark, for clarifying. You do get a casino form, but the point is that to clarify, the casino tax form is W2G. 1099G is for things like tax refunds, like government payments. There you go. All right, you're getting something. This is water, people. This is water. No matter what Josh says, I promise you all. You can't really see it. This is water. There's ice in there. I guess people put ice in their vodka, but I promise you, this is water. Steve going on the Big Chalupa Holiday Group Cruise. That's a working title right there, my friend. Love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You the man. NYC lover for life. What's up, man? Going on Freedom in 21 days. I have the ultimate dining package. Planning on going to Izumi Hibachi. Will they allow an additional meat, steak combo? Yes. You just pay the $10 difference, NYC lover, and you're good to go. So, yep, absolutely. No problem at all. Rebecca Scott is here. What's up, Rebecca? I'm on the Oasis Test Cruise this Sunday at New Jersey. Anyone here on it too? I am super jealous of you. I hope you have an awesome time. There was at least one other person who said they're on there, but I think there's a couple other people there. So, yeah. All right. Well, we're banning John Elway, but here's what I'm going to say about him. It's okay if you don't agree with the protocols. I think that's fine. But if you're just going to come in here and just continuously post the same message over and over again, just to initiate a response, you're a troll, and that's what trolls do. You have your opinion. We heard it the first 8 times. Leave it alone, man. Go do something else until things come back. So that's all. But anyway, I just wanted to address it because I'm not here to tell you can't have a different opinion on how cruising should or shouldn't be operating. But I do think that in general, don't post the same thing many times just to annoy everybody else. It's okay if you believe something differently. That's what that's what makes everybody special. We all have different opinions, but don't be a troll. That's all. There's a way to do it. So, Steve Cohen wants to know, I think September's policy protocols will be the same as August? I would guess yes. I mean, I was wondering about that actually today, Steve. I was looking at some of the protocols there because Royal Caribbean has not released the September protocols yet. I'm not sure. I would think more than likely it would be, well, gosh, I hope they're not any more restricted than they are in August. But sometimes when Royal Caribbean waits a little bit longer for the protocols to come out, maybe that means they're anticipating a change that they can take advantage of. Who knows? I don't know more than you guys do there. So, Melody of the Seas tuning in from the casino on the Freedom of the Seas. Melody, we could have asked you that question a little while ago about the casino right there, man. Oh, but anyway, first of all, I'm jealous, but because Melody's on a cruise and I'm not. But I got to say, isn't it great? We finally have people on cruise ships again joining us in here. Remember when all the shutdown and we didn't have that, and now we got friends joining in here. I'm jealous. People on a cruise ship. It's fantastic. John wants to know, is the Quest on every Royal Caribbean ship? Not right now. It was before COVID, but it has not returned yet post-COVID. But if and when it does, I believe it will be. So. Tony Diaz with the super chat. Thank you. Not a slap your grandma super chat, more like a slap your dead goldfish. Appreciate it. Thank you, Tony. You're a good man, my friend. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you. Sarah's got another question for us. Does Royal Caribbean send an email with the official protocols for each cruise? I've been Oasis in 19 days. And if it weren't for Royal Caribbean blog, I don't even know I need a COVID test aboard. They're supposed to, yes. I believe for my sailings, I've gotten them. Now I'm trying to think, Sarah, if I've gotten them for my Mariner. They definitely get them when they change. I think the answer is yes. But your cruise, here's the thing. Oh, now I know the answer to your question. What day is today? If your cruise is in September, Sarah, which I think it is, because if your cruise is in September, they haven't announced September protocols. That's why you haven't gotten it yet. Now, the testing thing, that's a good question. I'm not sure how that was conveyed or not. I got it for my cruises, but I already had them booked for August. So that's why I got them there. So I suspect it's a little column A, a little column B. I think part of it is because you're in September and the protocols aren't out yet. But to your point, yeah, there's, sometimes these new changes aren't conveyed to you until closer to your sail date. But listen, you're doing the right thing. You're learning about it. You're educating yourself. You're not going crazy. You're not starting up a blog and dedicating years to your cruise. You're just doing some basic research and you discovered it. So, yeah. And part of it also maybe following a travel agent to inform you. But anyway, long story short, Because your September cruise, I think that's part of what that is right there. So. Let's see here. Am I headed to Alaska this season? I'm not, Teresa. Unfortunately, not. I had a cruise booked I was supposed to be on Ovation of the Seas this week. I had to cancel it due to some family obligations. Yeah, it is what it is. But no, I'm not going to Alaska this year. I am booked for Alaska for next year. So that's the important thing. Going back there next year. Does Freedom of the Seas have a Playmakers? It does not. No. Wait, yes, it does. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the Promenade. It's in a different location. It does. Yeah, sorry. I apologize. It is on the it's near the casino. It's between the casino and Boleros. It's a fabulous one. I think it's the best Playmakers I've been there. So yep. What about the goldfish though? You know what? You bring up an excellent point, Archie. You bring up an excellent point. Tony says, I was once a troll. Now I'm loved. I wouldn't go quite that far, but Mike Wolf, thank you so much, buddy, for the super chat. Thank you. SH, advice for a first-time solo cruiser. Whew, man, that's a real. I mean, there's a lot of advice I can give you, and I'm trying to give you the best advice, like off the bat. There are a couple things that stand out to me. Number one, you want to being a solo cruiser, I would definitely get the internet package. I think it's a good way to kind of the worst part of it being solo is also the best part. I mean, by being solo, you get to do what you want when you want. That's a very liberating and fun experience. But sometimes people get a little lonely. They want to be able to talk to people. Having an internet package means you can use social media. You can post a live blog. You can send messages back to friends and family at home. You know, there's a way you still feel connected if you're not like a social butterfly that can strike up conversations with random people. Number two, talk to the crew members. Crew members are definitely willing to chat with you. They're always a good source of a good little conversation. Sometimes it's a little quick, sometimes a little longer, but don't feel bad about, just striking up a conversation with the crew members on board. Yeah. I hope you have an awesome time. Thank you all. Holy moly, Becky Menken live on board the Ovation of the Seas in Skagway. Wish I was there right now because I should have been there right now. I'm insanely jealous, but wow, thanks for joining us here, Becky. Hope all is well. What's the weather like in Skagway? Please tell me it's freezing cold because I wish it was freezing cold when I went up there. I doubt it is, but yeah. Skagway missed me. Aw, I miss Skagway. Archie the Archie, thank you for the super chat, buddy. What do I do if I don't slab a goldfish? You can. What do I slab if I don't have a goldfish? Tony Diaz is probably a good target. I would start with Tony and work your way back from there. Tracy wants to know, is there a test cruise schedule for Liberty? Yes, there is. They announced it for. Hang on. It is scheduled for September 18th. It's a 4-nighter from Galveston, Texas, and that is the Oasis and Liberty, the only two test cruises left that we are aware of right now. There are going to be others, obviously, but yep. Jonathan wants to know, are the Royal Genies back on Oasis class ships? They're definitely on board the Quantum class ships. I believe they are on the Oasis class. So yes, the answer is yes, absolutely. Let's see here. Here you go. Here's all you need to know about the protocols. Don and Judy, hello. They sent him going back to oh gosh, I forgot. Melissa, was that your name? I'm sorry. Sarah asked that question. You'll get plenty of emails from Royal Caribbean, but yeah, they tend to come a little closer in, whereas you already are aware of these policies. You're one step ahead of the game. That's what's important right there. Let's see. Does Serenade of the Seas have hibachi? They do not. Oh, I missed a super chat here coming in from Vicky Belleville. Thank you, Vicky. What does it mean when it says, in order to board the ship, you have to pass a wellness check at the terminal going on Allure September 12th? It's actually very easy, Vicky. Basically, the day, 24 hours before your cruise, in the Royal Caribbean app, there will be an online question form that you have to fill out. Just yes or no questions. That's it. It's going to ask you, some basic questions. Have you tested positive for COVID-19 in the last X amount of days? Have you been around somebody who's tested positive? You have any of these symptoms? It's just a Q&A form. You can fill it out up to 24 hours before your check-in time. Heck, you can do it at the cruise terminal if you wanted to. It's not, no one's probing you. No one's poking you. It's just a Q&A form. So, yep. And it's all done via the Royal Caribbean app. So make sure you have that installed and ready to go before your cruise. Katie is here. Hello, Katie. Do you know if stops in Nassau will continue to be canceled? Saw it was canceled for Freedom September 10th. We sell that ship September 13th. I'm not sure about short term. Obviously, they canceled some stops there. but that has to do with the construction, Katie. That NASA is doing. They're redoing their entire cruise area, the docks over there. It's been under construction since I went on Adventure this season back in June, even before then. So there's a couple days where they need to make that change, Katie. But if you haven't got an email yet about a cancellation, that might be good news, because they doesn't mean that you're out of the woods necessarily, but it also doesn't mean that we know exactly the whole extent of all that. So I hope that makes sense. So it's a long answer of maybe, but probably not, but maybe. Danielle is here. Hello, Danielle. Do you have to book a time for the gym even during vaccinated only hours? You do not have to. If they got availability to let you in, obviously there is a capacity. So if enough people went there, yes, you would have to. But I was on the Allure of the Seas, and we went to the fitness center, and the crew member there was basically just told you what I just told you. It's like, you can sign up for a time. You don't have to. They only enforce it if there's too many people that are in there. So there is a hard capacity. It's not like the old days where you can just walk in there and just, wait for your machine. Like, come on, Tony Diaz, hurry up on the elliptical, man. I want to get on there. Now you get there. They don't do that. Joey says, does roller caribbean heat water slides on board in winter months? Yes, with the sun. Other than that, I'm not aware that they, in all seriousness, dude, I'm not aware that they heat the water at all. I think it's just a matter of it's warm, but not to worry, my friend. I can tell you're from the north. In February 22nd, it will be plenty warm for you to go sliding down there. Maybe a little chilly, but you'll be fine right there. So Leslie wants to know, do I know when Royal Caribbean will begin sailing at full capacity? I do not. I don't think even Royal Caribbean knows, Leslie. I think if you had Michael Bailey himself in here and you pumped him full of truth serum, he said, Michael Bailey, tell us, when will Royal Caribbean ships begin sailing at full capacity? He would say in a British accent, I don't know. Maybe he'd be able to give you a ballpark idea of when they're thinking. But honestly, Leslie, I think we're still very far from that reality. When ships restart, every ship that restarts is going to start out at a very low capacity and build from there. But even ships that have been sailing since July for many weeks are still sailing at a very low capacity there. So Chris wants to know, do I think the E-muster is here for good? It is. It is never going away. Hallelujah. Amazing. Woo! Thank you. Yes, amazing, lovely. Best thing to ever come out of the shutdown is E-muster. It is amazing. Kathy says, when is Oasis test sailing leaving on this Wednesday? Maybe we'll live stream the sailor. I would love that, Kathy. I would love to watch that, but I have no earthly idea. You probably have to ask some folks to get on board the ship about that, but I am not certain. Mima is going on Symphony in November in different cabins. Will Roller Caribbean let us know how we proceed to the second room? Oh, you're doing it back to back. Yeah, you'll get a letter in your room, Mima. Towards the, but yeah, the end of cruise number 1. I already know the answer. Never mind. I can tell you your answer. At the end of cruise number 1, you're going to report to a specific location with everyone else is doing a back to back. At that point, Mima, after they test you and you fill out, you give them your old CPAS card, they give you your new CPAS card, and you're good to go. So it's pretty easy right there. What I would recommend you do, one more thing, talk to your stateroom attendant on cruise number 1 about moving your stuff to your other room. Let them know you're doing it back to back. You're changing cabins. They can usually assist with that. That's also at that point where you maybe tip them a little bit ahead of time to, grease the wheels of progress, as they say. So Alex wants to know, are drinks at places like Sabor included in the deluxe beverage package? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Thank goodness. Absolutely. Let's see here. George wants to know, do we have to have a paper copy of the rapid test, or can we show them on our phones? You can show them on your phones or the paper copy. I do recommend, and so does Royal Caribbean, to have a paper copy. It's just easier, makes it faster, but you can absolutely use a digital copy, screenshot, whatever. That is fine. Your COVID card, the vaccine card, needs to be the original, not a photocopy. But for the test result, George, yes, that is totally fine. Let's see here. Ellen, September. I'm not. I take it back. I'm not. I thought, oh boy, have another drink, Matt. I thought you meant August. I'm sorry. I can't read. Reading Comprehension 101. Patricia, did I say you should download Royal Caribbean on my phone? Yes. Take the entire cruise line and condense it. The Royal Caribbean app. I meant the app. If I said Royal Caribbean. I promise you, it is water in my cup. But I really meant the Royal Caribbean app on your phone. Yep. Andy says, I started at 1 o'clock check-in and then 12 o'clock open up, so I grabbed that. Have you seen it earlier than that? I have seen some people with an 11:30 check-in. I never saw 11:30 myself, but yeah, I've heard in some cases it exists. But yeah. So the answer to your question is maybe. I don't know. Oh, man. Let's see here. Keith Bruce. What's up, Keith? Did you see the Royal Caribbean interview of the return of Super Mario back to cruising? Yeah, I did. That's awesome, dude. I mean, Super Mario's an amazing guy. I was lucky enough to meet him once, and we were actually on Freedom of the Seas when I was on there a couple weeks ago. Totally just, I didn't know that he was on board till the last day, and then I couldn't find him. But fantastic. We love it. And let's see here. Hey, John Amato in the house. Up, John. Going on Freedom next Monday. Do they apply? Do this apply? You need some masks, or do you recommend bring your own? You bring your own. They don't give you enough for the cruise. They give you a couple in your room, but it is up to you to bring your mask, dude. So bring your own masks, and might recommend bringing your ones that you know that are comfortable. That for whatever reason you like it, bring your own. Definitely the way to go, right there. Yeah, Joe S, you are not wrong, my friend. You are not wrong. We love it right there. So. Mike, one of the cruise ships I've been on, these escape rooms haven't been open, but I'll check again, Mike, when I go on Mariner of the Seas next week, because obviously they have an escape room on there, and I can report back on that. Let's see here. Danielle wants to know, do cruise ships do anything for Halloween? Yeah, if your ship actually sails on Halloween, not like around Halloween, but actually on Halloween, there'll be costume contests, decorations on board the ship, special events. It's a lot of fun, actually. A lot of people love going on cruises specifically on Halloween so they can experience some of these Halloween parties on there. Vicky R is just saying hello. Well, I'm saying hello back to you, Vicky. Welcome. Thank you for joining us here. Jeremy wants to know, what were the amplification plans for for Allure before COVID? I'm off the top of my head, Jeremy, I'm pretty sure it looked almost exactly like what did actually get upgraded on Oasis of the Seas. There was one major difference that you should probably know about, and that is they were planning to add the new Giovanni's Italian Kitchen and Wine Bar to Allure. Allure would have had it before Odyssey had it, because Odyssey wouldn't have launched yet. That was the plan. But other than that, other than Giovanni's, basically everything else is pretty much what Oasis had on hers. Also, Allure was supposed to sell out of Galveston. Obviously, that didn't happen as well. So, yeah. We have a super chat coming in from Mr. Eric L. Eric, thank you for the super chat, my friend. We're selling on Freedom of the Seas next Monday, our first time at Royal Caribbean. Your videos put me at ease. Thanks for all your great work. Wow, that's awesome, dude. Thank you so much. You're going to love Freedom of the Seas. It is, I was on board, Eric, on July 4th, over July 4th holiday. And I got to tell you, I really had a moment where I had to think to myself, is this my new favorite ship? Because Harmony of the Seas always been my favorite. But I love, love, love the changes that Royal Caribbean has made to that ship. That I know for sure it is now my second favorite ship. It displaced Navigator of the Seas as my second favorite. But yeah, it's really, really good. So. Bonnie wants to know, do we know the average time it takes to check in at the terminal and get on board? If you fill out everything, Bonnie, beforehand, like you do the online check-in on your app, take your selfie photo, answer the questionnaire, put your credit card, you do everything possible before the cruise, it is extremely fast. You can ask Chip Gaines. We were on Mariner of the Seas last week. I mean, it is, you almost never stop moving. You do stop moving here and then for people to check your stuff, but it is very quick. Make sure you do as much as you can. And then in that process, honestly, you're probably on board in about 15, 20 minutes at the most. It's just what slows you down, Bonnie, more than anything is if you don't do things in advance kind of situation right there. Show Phil, winner of the Halloween contest. What was your costume? I would love to know what the costume contest was. That's awesome, dude. And we have another amazing super chat coming in from 12th Man Proud. What happens if Royal Caribbean rejects your COVID-19 vaccination card? Do you get a full refund? It was mentioned on the message boards that Royal rejected someone's card, minus association from the forms. Yeah, I don't know what that person's talking about, dude. I really don't. I first of all, the people that check the vaccine cards are the, and this is, I apologize to all the senior citizens out there. It's not about age. It's just they employ a lot of senior citizens. Anyway, it's these random people who work at the port that check it. They're not health officials. I don't know where that came from. Perhaps that person misheard that they were eavesdropping in that. I have no idea. 12 man proud. If you have the original card, I would not lose an iota of sleep over it. I certainly have. I've gone on a number of cruises. Let me find my card. Hang on a second. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay. I'm looking at my I can't show you my CDC card. It's got my birthday on there and everything. There's no signature on here. I'm debunking this right now, 12th man. There is no signature on my card. I don't think that's a thing. I think the person misheard, quite frankly. So don't worry about it, dude. But yes, obviously, if they were to reject you for any reason, if you had tested positive for COVID, you'd have the right documentation, you'll get a refund on it. But you'll be fine, dude. You'll be fine. Don't worry about that at all. And thank you again, 12th man proud, for your amazing generosity. Holy moly. Stacy says, what pool deck is pictured on the homepage while we wait for you to go live? Hold on. I have to find the photo. I don't remember which photo I used, to be perfectly honest with you guys. Oh, that is Navigator of the Seas. That is Navigator of the Seas. So, Brenda, you are very welcome. Devin says, does anyone have a mocktail menu I could look at? Number one, any cocktail can be made into a mocktail. There is one I want to tell you about, Devin. I linked to it today. It is, hold on a second. Brokerman recently redid the drink menu. Devin, I'm going to post a link in the chat. There are photos of the menu there. That's a good starting point. But keep in mind, Devin, it's not the end-all be-all of the drink menu that you can get a mocktail from. But basically, you tell them, I want a pina colada. That's non-alcoholic. They can get that for you. It's not a problem. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, the new menu there does have a couple of suggestions on that new drink menu. So Dennis Orman says, what happens if I show up after my assigned check-in time? You probably have to wait a little bit for an opening. Basically, they need availability. There's not too many other people in the terminal to get you. They're going to let you in, Dennis, but try to be there in your window of time, quite frankly. So this is not true at all. It's funny, but it's not true at all. Hey, Joseph Tricario, my favorite name to say. Gary Miola Jr. is still pretty fun to say as well. I'm not sure. I got to think about that one. When you check into the terminal, do you board directly after? Do you board directly after, or is there a waiting area? Every time I have boarded, Joseph. Now, granted, I've always boarded at like the first available time that I can get. There's no waiting area. They don't make you wait. I think they can't do that at this point. They don't want too many people in the terminal. So every time I've done it, Joseph, I've gone right on board, easy peasy, no problem at all. So. Vicky, your COVID card has a chicken scratch signature on there. There's absolutely no signature on mine. There's my name, which is printed out by a machine, like the pharmacy printed out. There's the 2 stickers on there that indicate when and which vaccine I got on what dates. The back of it has my reminder for a second dose. That's it. There's no signature. So I'm telling you right now, I believe that person believes they heard what they heard. I just don't think it's accurate because that's just not a thing. How much do I like Oasis? I love Oasis of the Seas. Love it. Fantastic ship. Really good. If my kids were here, once I explain to them which ship Oasis is, they'd be like, yeah, that's our favorite too, Dad. Absolutely. Next question from Efren. We only have time for a question or two, guys. Then I got to get out of here. Although I'm taking a Southern cruise in March, leaving from San Juan, when will they start back up in the summertime on a regular basis again from there? We do know for a fact that Explorer of the Seas will be restarting cruises from San Juan. I forget the date. I'd have to look it up. I want to get some more questions, Efren. But there is a restart with Explorer. She'll be the first ship to go out there. So if you're talking about like next year for summer, I suspect it'll be back to a normal. Whatever the schedule has is the schedule going forward. So, yeah. So, Sarah, thank you. This is good information right here. I'm a pharmacist. Sarah, not me. Sarah's a pharmacist. And we do not generally sign the vaccination cards. Some pharmacists initial, but it's not required. And many do not even put initials. Yeah. And mine is one of those that don't put anything on there. So, yep, absolutely. We got a super chat coming in. We got so many legends. There's so many great friends. Teresa McShane, thank you. The blueberry mojito on the new menu was not for me. Not a fan of that. You know what? My wife would agree with you on that one. So I liked it. I thought it was good, but hey, yeah, that's nice thing about the drink package, right, Teresa? You don't like it? That's all right. Pick another one to try out right there. But I'm a little surprised you didn't like it on there, but that's okay. Plenty of other drinks in the sea, as they say. How many people are they putting in each time slot? I have no idea. That's a great question, KL. That if the information is, I'm not aware of that information is public. Let's put it that way. So, all right. And have you ever done Royal Up bid? I have. I've actually done it 2 times, and both times I ended up canceling the cruise because of different reasons. But yeah, I mean, it works out really well if you're moving from like a lower room, like an inside room, to a balcony. For suite, it's a little more hit or miss. Tend to be more miss than anything like that. But you know, they say you can't win if you don't play. But it's just there's no guarantees that there's actually there's a room upgrade opportunity, let alone that you might actually win one. So, yep. And last question today, coming to us from Jeremy. Thoughts on a boardwalk balcony room compared to an ocean view balcony? Love it. I think it's different than an ocean view. If it was cheaper, I'd go with the boardwalk. If it's the same price, I might go for the ocean view. But I actually like the boardwalk balcony room. It's great for people watching, Jeremy. It's really good for that. It's a lot of fun. You can sit out there and just see what people are up to. It's kind of a nice thing to do on, random times when you just got a couple minutes of downtime. So thank you guys so much for joining us here on YouTube. Again, if you have more Royal Caribbean questions, we're live every Monday right here on YouTube. And when we're not live, we're over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Next Monday, guys, I will be on Mariner of the Seas, but we'll do the broadcast earlier in the day, probably in the afternoon. I will, of course, give you guys a heads up with a reminder like I usually do. But just a heads up, next week's live broadcast will be earlier in the day because by the time we get out at 7:30 p.m., the internet will be kaput and I will not be able to do the broadcast. So I want to make sure I can take advantage of the broadcast while the coverage is better. If I didn't get to your question, please feel free to post your question on the Royal Caribbean Blog message boards at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, or wait till next week. We can try again to answer as many as we can. I want to say some thank yous to the super chatters tonight before we get going here. Teresa McShane, thank you for the super chat. 12th Man Proud, thank you so much, my friend, for the super chats. Eric L, thank you for the super chats. Vicky Belleville, thank you. Archie the Archie, thank you. Mike Wolf, thank you. Tony Diaz, thank you. Mike Bloom, thank you. Dave and Sherry, good luck with that. Your bet, Dave. Thank you for the super chat. 12th Man Proud, again, thank you. Sharon Stockman, thank you so much for your generosity, Sharon. Tobias, happy anniversary. Desiree Hall, thank you for the super chat. Ron Ladowski, thank you for the super chat. Teresa McShane, thank you, Teresa, so much. Thank you, Teresa. JJ Wagner, thank you for the super chat. Matt Smith, thank you again, my friend. Brenna, thank you for the super chat. Don Morris, thank you. Foodie Vacations, thank you. Gary Amiola Jr., thank you for the super chat. First Sergeant Richard, thank you, buddy. Thank you so much for your generosity. Daniel, thank you for the super chat. Josh Carruthers, looking forward to cruising with you and your new roommate. Thanks to the super chat. Archie the Archie, again, thank you for the super chat. And Tropical Tom Garcia. I wish I was Tropical Matt Garcia, but thank you for the super chat, my friend. Guys, thank you for joining us here. Have a great week, everybody. Stay safe out there, but do something fun. And we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. 12th Man Proud. Have a great cruise next week, buddy. I'll be jealous of you. See you guys.